All right, let's dive into the massive, caffeine-fueled battle brewing in India's coffee market. And right in the thick of it is a British giant, Costa Coffee, gunning for a top spot. We're going to break down if they really have what it takes.
You know, this isn't just about who sells the most lattes. It's a full-on, high-stakes war for market dominance. So the real question we're digging into today is, can Costa Coffee actually pull off a win here?
And to get why this is so important to Costa, get this. India is already one of its top 10 markets in the entire world. But they're not stopping there. Oh no, the big goal is to crack the top 5 in the next 5 years. The ambition is absolutely huge, and so are the stakes.
Okay, so to really understand the challenge Costa is up against, we first have to survey the battlefield. Why is every major coffee brand on the planet racing to get a piece of the Indian market right now?
Well, it really boils down to a few massive trends. First, you've got this huge cultural shift happening, with more and more people, especially in the cities, switching from tea to coffee. Second, there's this thing called premiumization. Basically, younger folks are totally willing to pay more for better quality. And finally, the competition isn't just other cafes anymore. You've got fast food chains and delivery apps all getting in on the action.
So, who exactly is Costa facing off against in this race? Let me tell you, the field is packed. We're talking giants, specialists, and of course, our challenger.
Let's break down the heavyweights, shall we? First up, Cafe Coffee Day, or CCD. They're the market leader just by sheer size, with over 1,000 stores. Then, of course, you have the global behemoth, Starbucks, with its iconic brand power. And you can't forget Barista, a really established player in that mid-premium category.
And wow, this projection for 2025 really shows you the mountain Costa has to climb. The big players are just so dominant. I mean, look at CCD and Starbucks. Together, they're on track to control nearly 60% of the market. And that's not even counting the cool new specialty brands that are popping up everywhere.
And this is where our story's protagonist comes in. In this incredibly packed and cutthroat landscape, Costa Coffee is stepping up, not just to survive, but to really make a mark as a determined challenger.
So, what weapons does Costa bring into this fight? Let's unpack the strengths that make them a serious contender in this race.
Its biggest advantage, hands down, is its name. As this analysis puts it so well, Costa's global brand recognition is absolutely key to pulling in those premium customers.
But it's so much more than just a famous name. Costa's got a multi-pronged attack plan. They're expanding aggressively, they have a laser focus on that premium market, they've got strong support for logistics, and they're getting creative with formats like kiosks and even drive-thrus.
But of course, it's not all going to be smooth sailing. Every challenger faces major obstacles, and Costa is no exception. Let's take a look at the hurdles standing in their way.
And here it is, probably Costa's single biggest challenge, its physical footprint. With just over 200 stores, they're absolutely dwarfed by Cafe Coffee Day's network of over 1,000. That's a huge gap that limits their reach and just how visible the brand is.
And beyond just the number of stores, there are other pretty critical issues. The competition, as we've seen, is fierce. Relying on just one franchise partner could slow them down. Plus, there are reports of inconsistent customer experiences and the classic challenge of making a British brand feel right for Indian tastes.
So with all that in mind, how does Costa possibly overcome these obstacles? Well, the path to victory seems to be a pretty clear 3-part game plan.
Here's the playbook. First, they need to stand out with more than just coffee. Think localized drinks and food that people actually want. Second, they've got to double down on digital, building loyalty programs and killer app deals. And third, it's time to push beyond the biggest cities and tap into those growing Tier 2 and Tier 3 markets.
And this brings us right back to that key trend we talked about earlier, premiumization. This is exactly why Costa's strategy could be so powerful. By focusing on quality and creating a great experience, they're aligning themselves perfectly with where the market is headed, especially with those younger customers.
Which leaves us with the final million-dollar question. They've got the powerful brand name and an aggressive plan, but they're facing down giants and have some serious hurdles to clear. Can this strategy really propel Costa Coffee from just a challenger to a true champion in the great Indian coffee race? Well, I guess only time will tell.